What's going on, everyone? It's Adam Craig with Grandstand Golf, and we are back with showdown videos for round 2 DFS Showdown targets for the 2021 Open Championship. Craig, I did the late shift last night. I was up until about 1:30 a.m. my time. I think I saw the group message. You were up early your time.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of first round?
I was up at 4 my time, which was totally unnecessary. I mean, day one of the Open. I thought it was great. Course looks good. It's going to be a good challenge. Little disappointing to see how much of a wave favored it seemed to be on day one. Hope there's a little bit of the inverse tomorrow. Not sure whether that'll be the case or not. But I mean, that's the Open. You deal with the conditions.
I think golf purists will be just happy the Open is back, but some of the gambling DFS community might be a little upset. You know, no shot tracker. Coverage is a little bit different from typical PGA events. Did you notice any of that?
I mean, I enjoy the coverage personally. I find that it is longer and slower, but it seems to be longer and slower, more like covering golf as opposed to, another sponsored whatever it is. And it just, I really enjoy the coverage.
I also like how every reaction to every shot, it sounds like they snipped a little piece of the greatest game ever played. We're like,
Yeah.
Like it's very, very typical Open appreciative golf. I straddle both camps, so I wish we had a shot tracker. I mean, there's some guys I'm trying to pull information for that I missed when I was asleep that I just don't know. It's kind of blind.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that, but at the same time, I don't know why I'm okay with it for the Open. It's just like I don't need all the data. I don't need to know where he hit his shot. I'll see it in a sec. I think that depends as we move through the tournament. Are they going to do a good job covering everyone? Because that's always really when shot tracker becomes necessary, is when we're on to the weekend and they're only showing us a few people, and the guy who is only a couple shots out of the lead still is very relevant and maybe very relevant to your own fantasy lineups, and he's not getting shown. That's when it starts to get really frustrating. And I guess potentially with cut tomorrow, that also will be the case.
Absolutely, just refreshing that leaderboard, like stay at +1, stay at +1. Okay, but let's look at the leaderboard here. Louis Oosthuizen, Kevin's one and done, throwing the Hail Mary with Louis off to a great start, bogey free. I mean, you kind of mentioned it. The one thing here, a lot of early AM guys.
I mean, the leaderboards, it's mostly, I mean, Webb is the highest of people who went out later in the day. Colin Morikawa, I guess, was also fairly late in the day. But Louis and Jordan Spieth, I think, right now to me are the presences at the top of the leaderboard.
It's also absurd that Harman, Fratelli, and Mackenzie Hughes are all in the same group. Like, what was that group doing out there?
I don't know, giving each other good reads on their putts, I guess.
Yeah, elevating each other for sure. A lot here. One note down here: 52 of the last 60 winners at the Open were at or within 4 shots of the lead. That does hurt my one and done pick, Brooks, who's at -1. But there's a lot of guys. I mean, it's super early, but a lot of guys in that.
Yeah, we've got DJ there showing up here, and then Victor Hovland's also at 2 under. So
there's a lot.
But at the same time, Xander's -1 in the afternoon, like that to me is as impressive as some of these rounds. And so I think it will be interesting as we get further. It depends on how the splits are through the rest of the week. But if that was really the one day that it diverged, it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys from the other side can kind of work their way back into it.
Yeah, it might just be tough luck of bad draw. Some interesting names. I think so. It's early, but there's going to be guys on this leaderboard almost certainly that will miss the cut. There's got to be one here. There's going to be guys. There's a lot of guys at that +5, +4 mark that a couple of them are going to make the cut. We can talk about it here. So it was close to 2 strokes difference. I mean, 1.5 strokes difference between AM and PM. AM and PM is a little bit arbitrary because they all kind of went off one tee steadily throughout the day. But definitely got
which harder. I quite like, actually.
I like it too.
And then the course is unfolding in the same way for everyone. It becomes a little bit annoying when you have one 9 playing much easier than the other. So you kind of have to keep track of who started where and everything.
But I mean, if cut line does go to +2, which this is data golf here, and kind of going by the 0.96 today and multiplying by 2. These guys at +5. There was 18 guys who shot -3 or better. So there's those numbers out there for sure to climb back into the cut and do something on the weekend.
Yeah,
we saw Daniel Berger do it at the PGA.
For sure. It's possible. I know you're trying to talk yourself into 5 being alive because I know you've got a few guys in your lineups at 5, but you have to think 5. Very, very, very slim chances. I would say 4, you're starting to get much more realistic. You go out there and have a good round. It doesn't need to be a great round. You just go out there and you play well and you can make the cut. And then 3 or 2, really, you're right there.
Yeah. Let's just say I'm trying to think of a good pun for English and day. Let's have a good English day tomorrow, guys. I don't know what I'm trying to pull something together off the top of my head. The other thing before we get into picks here, Craig, no stroke saying data. So we have fairways, we have greens, we have putts. So we're going to condense it a little bit, just to kind of do 2 picks each, a high, low, for Showdown. Looking at weather, anything that you're looking at for tomorrow?
So yes, and this doesn't show us much here. It shows us it's fairly consistent throughout the day. It seemed like it was the same going into today, if not that the wind was going to maybe fall down a little bit in the afternoon. So what my plan is, I'm going to make a few lineups, and I'm not necessarily going to stack morning or afternoon or anything like that. I'm actually going to try to look at an hour or something on the tee sheet and not just 1 hour and make all of my lineups from there, but for each lineup that I build, I'm going to try to group people together so that if there is something like today where there was clearly about, players teeing off within about 2 hours of each other, had the best of it. And so wherever that window is, I want all my guys in that lineup. Essentially, it's sort of like stacking a game in basketball, and you're hoping that game is high scoring. So I essentially kind of want to try to pick pockets in the day and then hope that window happens to be the low scoring pocket of the day.
It's interesting. You're always looking for an edge. I respect that. I'm gonna take it more as a flat day and just kind of pick the guys I think are good rebound or continue what they did.
So a little less technical with your approach there.
A little less technical, okay. Yeah, you could say that. Okay, should we jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's already up there. My first one here is Patrick Cantlay, 9,200 on DraftKings. He went 74 today, +4. Crazy scorecard. 5 birdies, just exceptional. And then 9 strokes over par, 6 bogeys, 1 triple bogey. It's just kind of an absurd scorecard here. So he was in the later groupings here, so he will be off early. I think his +4 with that triple bogey is actually pretty exceptional. It's more like a +2 if he's playing in the morning, and then that triple bogey is just, that can sometimes happen in an open, but I'll give a pass, and I don't think it's going to repeat itself necessarily. Basically, he's coming in with good form. He's positive strokes total in 14 of his last 15 rounds. Handful of those are over 3, even more of those over 2. He's playing very, very well right now. And then just his I guess standard or record at majors, he's only missed 2 cuts in 18 career majors. So he's going off early at +4. He probably has a number, -3 number that he needs to hit. And I like those guys with motivation that have the talent to do that. He missed a lot of fairways today. He still managed to get it on the green, which I feel like is really good. And then an ice cold putter. He averaged 2 putts compared to the field of 1.67 here. So I'm referencing that little graph here. We have it for all our players. That's kind of the stats that we have. So missed fairways, was good at getting on the green though. And this didn't convert anything. Two putts per green regulation, basically.
Yeah, that's ugly. Yeah, to me, it's a great game theory play. I think a lot of people will avoid him just because they see +4 next to him after the first day, and 5 birdies. If making 5 birdies out there is special. The fact that he had so many ugly holes is very out of character for him. So I like the play. I think that. Yeah, to me, I'm still a little taken off guard by the fact that he went out there and shot +4 today, because it's just really not not really what we see. I mean, I know that Cantlay maybe has had a habit of doing that this spring, right. But it still is just really out of character for him, I think,
Yeah,
personally.
he's turning around as of late, and that's only one less birdie than Usti. So
Yeah.
things could have been
Five
different.
birdies, especially in the afternoon. 5 birdies is very, very good.
Yeah,
You're playing very good golf. You just played a lot of very ugly golf too.
yeah,
Um, Mine here, I'm going Rory McIlroy. Again, it's 10,300. He's the second most expensive person on the slate after Rahm. I think that personally, it's a game theory play more than it's a I love the value play. I think even par through the first round. I think that ownership will be low on him up there. I think maybe people will be like, oh, Rom, he's playing so well coming in. I think his ownership will still be there. But then you look at under Rory, there's a lot of people with really nice scores. You've got Spieth, who will attract a ton of ownership, Usti, obviously, and then DJ's all the way down at 9,000. So there's a lot of people up there that people will be looking at instead of Rory. So maybe if he had been on the right side of the draw today, that number looks like a -1 or a -2. I think it's a different story in terms of the ownership. But if it plays out that he is low owned, I think that his ability to go out there and have an outlier round is always crazy. Rory McIlroy just how prodigious he is driving the golf ball and his ball striking in general, it always gives him major outlier upside. You kind of saw it off the start. He had a chance to go birdie start and then missed another short putt. I want to say around hole 5 or 6, I can't remember, but then had 3 straight bogeys. And ultimately, the outlier upside combined with a great open record, it just signs to me are that I'm not worried in any way about Rory going out there and shooting even par. I think that the way he was kind of scoring, it could have been a lot worse. Or sorry, like the way he did not score to his potential in terms of the golf, But yeah, the fairways, greens and regulation, I'm not sweating any of those. I think this data is so sort of rough compared to what we even normally get with strokes gain data, and it's so skewed by individual. A fairway here or there makes a huge difference in percentage. I'm not worried about that. I've just seen Rory anticipating a low ownership, and with his high upside, it's a play.
Yeah. I was just gonna let you go for as long as you were gonna go there. You can tell we haven't done it in a while as Craig is on his rambling Rory rants.
Let me tell you about Rory in 2014.
So here's the thing. I like Rory for the reasons you said and for the game theory, but I like him if you the viewer have plays you like in the 6 or low 7s where it makes sense to fit him in. But if you're trying to force him in, I think like you said, there's a lot of good plays that could have as good a chance to have those outlier rounds as well that are $1,000 cheaper.
Yeah, it's not a value play to me at all.
No, not at all. Okay, my value play tomorrow is Adam Scott, 7,500 on DraftKings. He went +3, 73, 1 birdie, 4 bogeys. So you can see a trend here with Cantlay and Scott. A couple guys over par, hopefully have less ownership, both in the afternoon. I think guys that can definitely turn it around. Jumping right down to the table at the bottom here, he didn't find a fairway, basically. He's one of the worst guys in the entire field for finding a fairway, 28%, absolutely awful. Compared to the field hitting 56%. You can't do anything with that, really. You can't do anything. That led to, of course, a smaller greens and regulation percentage at just 50%. And then his putter was actually decent, which with Adam Scott, I kind of like. I kind of like that his putter, was at least field average round 1, because I feel like his ball striking, we know can turn around. So I think that can happen tomorrow. Again, a guy +3, he has a number in his head that he needs to go out and hit. And I feel good for him to hit that. He has made cuts in 10 of his last 11 Open Championships, I believe. He has 9 top 25s at the Open in his career, including a bunch of chances to actually win, some top 5s, some top 10s. And then again, with the form, kind of like Cantlay, he is positive strokes gained total in 9 of his last 11 rounds. So it's not like this is kind of a downward trend. It's more of like an outlier round. Both Cantlay and Scott, I feel like, just had outlier rounds in tough conditions, and I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was on the wrong side of the draw, and so people will look at +3 and be like, I don't want to play him. I think that that's exactly where you want to be making your plays. The ownership's going to be lower. I think he's also in that pocket of guys that I'm going to be targeting in terms of the time frame. So I think he'll make a lineup or two of mine.
Yeah.
My last one here, one of your plays for the tournament, Rickie Fowler, 7,300. If you notice where he is on the tee sheet, it's right next to Rory. So if you do want to follow my theory, you got a couple there right next to each other. Less so, I think, a game theory play. He's -169 through one round, 3 birdies, 2 bogeys. I think he's going to attract ownership. Rickie Fowler, he's a name. He's at 7,300. He's -1,
yeah.
which was in the on the bad side of the draw, on the wrong side of the draw. So that he played better, I think, than a -1 if you compare him to the rest of the field. But to me, you look at the strong open record for Rickie. You look at he gained strokes in 10 of 13 rounds coming in. I just think Rickie Fowler, we're getting him still at a discount in terms of price, in terms of the value at the price. I like it. To me, it's on the wrong side of the game theory play, though. I think he will have ownership, so that's where I want to. If I'm playing Rickie, I want to combine him with guys up high, like a Cantlay or a Rory, where because of what they did in round one, it's not going to be like Spieth or Usti, where all the ownership goes to them.
Yeah, that was much shorter. I'm
it's not
left
Rory,
off guard with yeah, Rickie is my sleeper, and so I was watching with a keen eye today. I'm still nervous with a lot of his iron drives, that kind of things, but he played decent enough. But the pace on his putts looked really good. I felt like, I obviously didn't see all of them, and whatever coverage saw, and when I was around TV, the pace on his putts looked really good. And I think that's a big thing in the Open. You have to have good pace on these putts to at least get them to the hole and have yourself a chance with these slow greens. Yeah, I think it'll be popular, but I think I'll be playing him.
Mm-hmm. There you have it.
That's our round 2 showdown. We haven't done that in a while. Hopefully that helps everybody out for Friday at the Open Championship. It should be a good one. Put those coffee timers on. Pre-make that coffee. Save yourself a step in the morning. Hit that thumbs up. It really does. We really do appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet already. Craig, what else am I missing here?
Well, clearly you're not steaming your milk for your latte, because I don't think I can do that beforehand. I just like some schlub. I have to manually do it myself.
I'm just a drip guy, man. I'm a cheap guy.
All right, good luck, guys. We'll see you next time.
Good luck.